Well, hello, hello, hello. I'm back for another video. And guess what I have here? I have, yes, a cup of coffee. It is a cup of coffee. And it's a slice of birthday cake. Ooh, and it's chocolate. So, this is to celebrate, okay? So if you're not ready, you might want to run and grab the appropriate supplies and stop the video and come back. But anyway, one of my subscribers is having a birthday and she asked me to mention it. So I am saying happy birthday, a shout out of a happy birthday to my dear friend Elvina, who's my loyal subscriber, always there, always enjoying the videos, leaving nice comments and all kinds of goodies and all that nice stuff. So thank you. I really appreciate you. And just happy birthday to you, my dear friend. And enjoy it. Get some cake, get some tea, whatever you want, live it up, okay? These things only come around once a year. I always celebrate them because, some people, they really are uptight, they don't want to we're going to get older anyway. You might as well celebrate at what's involved. For instance, it's an accomplishment. Not everybody makes it another year. We survived another year, and well, every year is going to have good and bad, right? But just give thanks to God for the good. That's all I say. So that's what I do. It's just a blessing that I celebrate. It's I don't do anything weird, okay? Just cake and coffee. And so anyway, and I know you said your birthday was the 12th, and I'm going to be occupied during the week and that day as well. So I'm just going to do it early here. And it's the weekend before. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. I do that all the time myself. So here is the birthday coffee. Oh, and look I wanted to show you this. I get these from time to time. It's those little paper doilies. You put them out on the plate here. And then, you know, keep sticking to my lace glove. Anyway, put the cup on and it just sort of catches the drops. But it's cute. Anyway, it looks like a lace doily, so I like them. And they have them with pastries too, many times, things like that. And I mean, I like anything that's fancy like this. Now I'm going to have some cake, okay? So this is good. See, I got this nice cake, and I love frosting. I don't know about you, but I do. See, look at all that. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Mm. I'm going to have to get some more, but it's very rich. Just one more bite, you know. Mm. Oh, yes, the cake is good. Cake is always good. I was going to say something, and oh well, it'll come back to me. But anyway, some more coffee. wash it down. Hmm. Okay. Well, I took care of that coffee quick, didn't I? Okay. Oh, when I was eating the cake, I thought of something. Now I forgot. Look at that. I'm getting old. It's official. Anyway, something about cake. It was something frosting. I was talking about frosting. I love frosting. Well, anyway, it'll come back. It always works that way in my head. It'll pop back in later. So, okay, I'll get back to that. But so, um, moving along the list here. So I listened to the songs again that I had on my list, and I found the name of the other one I was looking for that I hadn't written down. So I wrote it down, and I'm just going to put it right here. Um, it's this song. It's Hallelujah Easter version, because there was a song written by somebody else, and I'm not sure of exactly the background of it, but it played on secular radio. It wasn't a highly religious song, but the melody is really really nice. So this lady took the melody and she wrote lyrics for it that were for Easter. There's also a Christmas version in case you want to check that out. And I don't know, I think that's it. But there's an Easter version, so you have to type this and then Easter version, and it will usually say this lyrics by Kelly Mooney, or you can type that in and you'll get a very lovely Easter song. I love this one. I listen to it every year. So anyway, there's that. So that's the housekeeping to get out of the way. And I think that was it for updating those kinds of things. Um, hmm, darn, I just can't think of this. Maybe if I put this cake back, it'll remind me. Look at it for a while. I know I'm taking liberties here, but I mean, there are not that many people here, right? So, anyway, um, okay, so yeah, but chocolate cake. I mean, cake in general. I just love cake, and I love frosting. And hmm, maybe it was a recipe. Darn it. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Well, it'll have to sneak up on me. It's not working. All right. Now, I hate that. That's so frustrating. Okay. Well, now, okay. The next item here is today is calendar day. So I'm going to explain all kinds of things about calendar stuff that's related to all of this, really. But I wanted to mention before I jump into all that um, the formula for how they calculate Easter. So I'm going to get my trusty whiteboard and squeaky marker, and I'm going to put this here. So this is the formula for Easter. Okay, how they calculate what day it's going to be. Okay, now of course it's a Sunday because Jesus rose on Sunday, so it's a Sunday. And the range of dates is always somewhere between March 20th till April 25th. Okay. And what happens is this. And follows around the Passover formula too. Okay, that's how we get this. And of course, that's when it happened. Holy Week was around that. It was the fulfillment of those feasts. So, of course, it's going to be then. And every year, then it follows this. So, and the calculation goes like this. Okay, they take the spring equinox. So I'm just gonna make a sun here. Okay, so and it's somewhere around here. It was it ranged also between the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. Okay, so this, but they picked this day as Easter a possibility because the 19th was like it had to be something that was the day after, so that's why we get the 20th. And I looked all this up, and I had it all in my head, and anyway, some of it is still there. So okay, but the 20th was the first possible day. If it's, yeah, well, I'll get to that. Okay, and then after the equinox, so here, then the next thing they looked for was the full moon. So I'll put a little one here. That's the full moon. Okay. And the next thing that had to happen for Easter was the following Sunday after that. Okay, so you needed these three things, and it all depends. Now, the spring equinox, okay, that's when the thing happens where the planet turns around the sun at a certain time, and the days start getting longer, so that's the spring equinox, and so that involves the sun and the earth. So that's always one of those days, right? Like I said, that is fixed, so I'm just going to draw a line there. Then you have, after this, you have the full moon, which I found out something new, by the way. I thought it was 28 days. It turns out a lunar cycle is 29 and a half days. Somebody said that a long time ago about 28, and it just stuck with me. And I mean, it's close, so I didn't notice anything. Turns out it's 29 and a half days for a lunar cycle. So, so anywhere from here till there, you have the 29 and a half days where you can have the full moon. So it could be that same day or anywhere, you go 29 and a half days later, you could have the full moon. So you have to wait for that full moon, and then you wait for the next Sunday, and that's how they pinpoint Easter Sunday. Now, one may be wondering, well, this is longer than, yeah, well, of course, if the full moon is on Monday, then they have to count out, you got to, till you get to the next Sunday, there are extra days in the middle between one and the other. So that's how you get the last possibility being April 25th for Sunday, Easter Sunday. So anyway, it made perfect sense down to the day when I had it and when I looked at it and pinned it all down. So trust me, it makes sense. So those are all the details we're going to get into for now, but that's why we get this range. So sometimes, the earliest, and if they all coincide, like you can have equinox, your full moon, and it's a Sunday, right? That's why this could be the first possibility. And if it's spread out all the way, it's stretched out, like I said, that last example, April 25th would be the last possibility. And it can fall anywhere in between this range depending on when the full moon is and then the following Sunday. You can have a full moon on Saturday and Sunday is Sunday. So, it just depends how that all stretches out. Okay, so this is why, and some people wonder, and it's a valid question, why, so, and this is, as I said, the same way they calculate Passover, except that is on the full moon. See, so there's several things involved, and that's just one of them, but that's why it's that way for calculating when Easter Sunday is in this part of the world. At least there is one exception I've heard of where The Eastern Orthodox Church actually has another formula, and they always have it as a fixed day. And I guess it's the second Sunday in April, but it's always somewhere around. I've seen it the 12th, the 13th, the 16th, somewhere in there. It's always the middle of April, so it's probably the second Sunday, and that's what they always do. So they don't go by this formula. So there are some people who do it differently. Okay, so that's that. All right, now, next is this list here. Okay, now this is going to be a little more involved, okay? So, I have all kinds of stuff here. Okay, so first of all, I want to show you this before I get into anything else. Here, this is what we're going to need. Okay, so let me move this over some more. Okay, so this is just a blank sheet of paper, and I made a calendar that sort of goes, it's got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's a little over a week. This is where I'm going to fill this out as we go along when I read through this during Holy Week. Okay, we're going to fill this out. So if you want to go ahead and make one of these, and we'll fill it out together. Okay, because there are all kinds of details about timing that are given when you read through that section of the Bible, and that tells you exactly why, when things are, and so on. So it'll be interesting. We'll go through that. And yes, I already have the answer key, but that's going to remain hidden, So anyway, in fact, I'm holding it right now. I'm not going to show it. Ha ha ha. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I guess I'm in a silly mood. So so this is the blank one. So just make a blank one like this, and we'll fill it out as we go along, and it'll give you clues about timing of what happened when during that week everything happened. Okay, so that's just so you see that. And now here, we have different parts to this. Let me just see here. Yeah. Okay. So the first part is this. It's called Calendar Lesson, Cultural Context. So, the Jewish calendar at the time of Holy Week, okay, we're going to compare their calendar back then to our calendar now in the West, okay? So there's several things we have to keep in mind, and I'm going to put this little part here, and in fact, I'm going to make this bigger just for that. Okay, that works. All right, and I'm just going to scoot it up as we go. So, okay. Yeah, it works. Okay, yeah, it just fits in here. So 1A, okay, their day. So the Jewish day, till now, it still works this way. Their day began at sunset or nightfall. Somewhere in there is when they determine their new day begins. Okay, so one sunset to another sunset constituted one full day. All right, and that's a big difference to keep in mind. Okay, that's why, for example, their Sabbath is from Friday, it's sunset, till Saturday, it's sunset. And if you ever look at calendar that sometimes includes Jewish holidays. They'll mention such and such a holiday begins at sundown. Well, that's why, because that's when their day started. Okay, so that's all the background to that, right? Some cultures use other things. We use midnight. I've heard of sunrise, so what different things, but they used sunset. Okay, now B, this is interesting. They did not count out 24 hours in a day, but 12 hours in a day. They're 24, but they only really paid attention to the 12 hours that are in the day, okay? The 12 hours that were at night, they didn't really pay attention to because everybody was asleep. And so anyway, the others overnight were not counted. So in John chapter 11, verse 9, Jesus says there are 12 hours in a day. And sure, you're going to get all the mockers and scoffers, right? Well, okay, that's because that was their culture. That's the cultural context. They only counted the 12 hours of the daylight. They didn't count the night hours. So that's what it meant. Okay, so see, you'll run into things like this. And if you look a little bit, do a little digging, a little research, a little homework, you'll find out, wow, there was a reason for it. What do you know? Anyway, so yes, yep, it's right. Yep, okay, I know. So, all right, now C, we have here is the conversion table. See, so I went through all the trouble of writing this out. Okay, and I have to move the cake somewhere. Okay, here we have this. So for instance, hour 1, that's how they counted it, even though the day started at sunset. Hour 1 on our time was dawn to 8 a.m. Of course, the sun can rise at different times. It can be 6 a.m., it can be a little later, a little earlier, but so whatever it was, dawn till 8 a.m. was the first hour. So hour 1, hour 2 was 8 to 9, hour 3 was the third hour. That's 9 to 10, right? 4 is 10 to 11, 5 is 11 to 12, 6 is 12 to 1. So this is noon, 12 to 1. 7 is 1 to 2. 8 is 2 to 3. 9 is 3 to 4. 10 is 4 to 5, 11 is 5 to 6, and then 12, the 12th hour was 6 to sunset, whenever that was. It could have been 6, could have been 7, okay, but that was the last hour, even if it was longer than an hour or less. That's how they did it, okay? So here, and it comes up when we're reading this, it'll say the third hour or the 6th hour and the 9th hour. That's what it's talking about. It's not talking about 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock in the evening or 9 o'clock at night. If it says the third hour, it's talking about 9 to 10 a.m. in the morning. If it's talking about the 6th hour, it's talking about 12 noon to 1 p.m. the afternoon. 9th hour would be 3 to 4 in the afternoon. So, see, that's some important cultural context to set this in, when we go over these things. So I wanted to do that. This is a deep dive kind of thing for that. Okay, so now D is here below is an illustration of their day splits. I just like to include a visual. So like here, let's take our week. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some days of the week. And then here, this line represents our day splits. Okay, so this would be midnight, 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 midnight. That's our day. So this full day here is our full Thursday. That's our full Wednesday, and so on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But their day is here. So sunset would be this squiggly line. Okay, and here's the next sunset is that squiggly line. So their day went from that squiggly line to that squiggly line, one sunset to the next, and so on. Here's the next sunset, sunset, sunset. Okay, so that's how their days were split. So there's that. A part of it is an overlap and a part of it is not. So that's something, it's just a visual illustration of this. And like if their full moon was here, for somebody it's already Friday, and for somebody else it's still Thursday. Okay, but it's the same time. All right. And then I just wrote this here. This is why many calendars say Passover begins at sundown or whatever the holiday is. For instance, in the diagram above, our calendar could list Passover on Friday like I did, but they would eat the meal Thursday evening, which to us is Thursday evening, but to them it's already Friday. I mean, I know it's here, but like if this is a Passover, not the Sabbath, right? So then it's there. Yeah. So our calendar could list Passover on Friday, but they would eat the meal Thursday evening after sunset because that is when it would actually, the new day would begin according to their calendar. I indicated this by the circle in the diagram. So like that's the full moon and that's when they ate, that meal. So this will come in handy when we go over the events of that week. So I'm going to, keep this to refer to again later when I do that. Now, 2 months on the Hebrew calendar. Okay, so they have 12 months like we do, but in a leap year, they have 13 months. So they accumulate things and then add it up into a month and add an extra month in for their leap year. It's different than our leap year. Anyway, B, their months go from the middle of one of ours to the middle of the next one of ours, and I will show that below. C, their biblical New Year is the month of Passover, but they now celebrate it in autumn, the New Year, okay? But originally in the Bible, it was the month of Passover was their New Year month, okay? And I'll get to that. D, oh yeah, their leap month is called Adar 2 and placed after Adar 1. Wow, that, go figure, right? 1 and then 2. Okay, just like we have February 29 after February 28, only they wait and then it's a month. So I don't know how they add it up, but they wait and then they have a leap year that way with a leap month. So if you ever see that, it's because it's a leap year, and that's the leap month. So there's 1 and 2 in that case. So that's it. Okay. E, I have that C chart below. Okay, so the first month was technically called, I don't know how to pronounce these exactly, okay, I didn't do that part of it, but it looks like Nisan. I think that's what it is. And another name for it is Abib. And that is, this time it goes from the middle of March till the middle of April. So it varies, but let's just say March 15 till April 15 would be that month, okay? And this is in a non-leap year. Then there's this Iyar, which is the middle of April till the middle of May. Then you have Sivan, which is the middle of May till the middle of June, which is my favorite time of year, just saying. Then there's Tammuz, and I found that interesting that they would name a month after this character. But okay, moving on. The middle of June till the middle of July. And then Av is the middle of July till the middle of August. Elul is the middle of August till the middle of September. Tishrei is the middle of September till the middle of October. Cheshvan middle of October till the middle of November. Kislev is the middle of November till the middle of December. And Tevet is the middle of December till the middle of January. And then Shevat was the middle of January till the middle of February. And Adar was the middle of February till the middle of March, which would be what we're in right now on their calendar. And it's interesting too, this other item, so that's their calendar, but so like when we do this Holy Week stuff, it's at this time, so that's the month, okay? Anyway, that's when the new year began, according to the Bible, and so we'll be looking at that when we go over that. So that's that. But there was, I don't know if it was last Easter or the one before, they actually had a leap year, so they moved their Passover a month later. So it wasn't in, it was, in this Adar 2. No, Adar 2 came up. You see, like here, there's Adar 1, and then Adar 2 was here. So that moved, that was from like somewhere in the middle of March till the middle of April. I'm not sure how long that month is, but anyway, so that pushed off this so that the Passover was later. So they celebrated it at a different time that year than the Western Church celebrated Easter. So anyway, I know you had to know that, but okay, that's the deal on the calendars. So yeah, it's good background to know. It's a good lesson to go over for when we go over this stuff later. Then it you can put it in context. It'll make sense. It'll just make more sense. Now, so that is the calendar lesson. That is really it. Next time, what I'm going to do next Sunday is I'm going to start going over the actual material. So I have all that ironed out, and I'll do that next Sunday. And that's going to be longer. It's going to be probably several videos. And then after that, I'm going to wait until sometime before Holy Week and then dive in and start with the actual events. So this is still just the prep work here. Okay, so I guess that's it. I still don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Well, so if I think of it, I'm gonna put it in the comment section, okay? So that is it. So you have a blessed week, wonderful day today, and I'll be back next time. Okay, take care.